nobody like a draw, from a guy that get knockouts and things like that. But it's cool. I feel like if we fight again, I could do more, and I should have did more. I was lost in I lost track in the rounds. That's why we need what is it called? Yeah, man. I didn't know what round it was. Facts.
Tank, Eric Blum from DailyMail.com. First off, your coach just said, can you confirm, did you get your hair done 2 days before the fight?
Yeah. I ran water over it today, but I must ain't do it enough.
Can you describe what the feeling was like in the ring? And was it to get the towel out, to get the burn out of your eyes, or what was going on? And
I didn't want to get caught. I didn't want to get caught while my eyes was burning, and you can get knocked out like that. So I'd rather take the knee than But I didn't really know that you can get disqualified for all that, or when you start counting, I'm like, what the hell? But I don't know. It's cool.
Tank, how much does it hurt to have the draw on your record now? And do you think it's going to stand as some sort of renewed motivation for you, like the guys were saying, as you proceed through these next couple fights?
Yeah, it just put, food to the fire and things like that, fuel to the fire. But it's cool. It's cool. The draw is okay. It's all right. You know what I mean? You live and you learn. I definitely could have. That was on me, too. That was on me for sure. Because I ain't pick it up when I supposed to pick it up. And I could have definitely did more. Definitely did more.
Gervonta, congrats on a good fight. You originally were going to call somebody out, you said, after the fight. But, since the draw happened, it looks like Lamont Roach rematch is what's on the horizon. But who were you going to call out? What was the plan originally?
I think he was here. He came in my locker room.
Shakur Stevenson?
After having a couple of minutes to decompress, what are your thinking right now?
I mean, obviously, I want to go back and watch it, but clearly in there, man, I thought I won. I thought I did enough to get the victory over a spectacular fighter. I told y'all from the beginning, man, that I got the skills to pay the motherfucking bills. I've been telling y'all that. And I'm just glad I got to show it, honestly. I'm glad I got to show it. I appreciate, like I said before, I appreciate true boxing media. Some guys that didn't count me out. So that's just how I feel, man. I think I won, and I can't wait to do it again. I can't wait to dance again.
And he just went down. He just, like you said, it was. We looked at 3 rounds. Brian was calling out, I need 3. We got 1. I need 2. He got the 2, but he forgot where he was at. He thought he was still in the 8th round. He thought he still had rounds to go.
Thought he still had rounds to go. He thought he was in the 8th round.
He was good. We just couldn't figure out why he wouldn't pick it up.
Right. And so I think it was maybe a lack of focus just for a little bit, and we'll fix that. But nevertheless, I think that made that fight a draw.
So what did you think about, going into that fight as far as going back and forth with Tank as far as throwing more combinations over the course of those rounds?
I just think, going into the fight, I knew I had what it takes. Like I said, I knew I had a chin. I spar guys that were junior middleweights, middleweights, current champions that was at that weight. So I know I can take a punch. He's twitchy in there. I do see why he knocked people out. I mean, being up close and personal, obviously I seen it on the TV and shit like that, but I understand why he knocked people out. I'm not gonna tell y'all because y'all gonna tell him. But I just knew that I can be in there, and I knew that I can do better than him to win rounds, win exchanges, because he fighting spurts.
In front of you. There you go. Thank you. So I gotta ask. When you think about this decision and it being a draw, and you think about what happened in the 9th round, how frustrated are you that wasn't counted as a knockdown?
Man, I'm honestly, I thought I should have won without that being counted a knockdown. Look, I ain't the ref. I ain't really, you know what I'm saying? Like, if he had to wipe sweat out his eye, he had to wipe sweat out his eye. But the rules do state, if you voluntarily take a knee, then that's an automatic 8 count. But it is what it is. I wasn't relying on that. I was relying on what I was doing in there. I think I was taking control. I think I was landing more shots. I think I was landing more power shots. And I thought I was doing my thing. So I'm not really that frustrated about that. But if that was kind of a knockdown, I would win the majority decision.
Well, like I said again, they've been knowing each other since they were little. And Roach, he stepped up for the cause. He stepped up. You know what I'm saying? And again, Tank history, I always sit there and tell you, I don't like knockouts, like punishment. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes things got to happen to make you get back to where you belong at. You know what I'm saying? And that was a good, skillful ass fight. Skillful. Both of them would take certain chances, some of them take chances, you know what I'm saying? We seen, it was like we was on a boat and it was just like this, you know? But we thought he could have did more.
Thought he could have did more, and hack off to Lamont Roach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was prepared.
Yeah.
There were shots that he took that the average person would have went out on. And he took, pretty much Tank was sitting on the uppercut and he threw it and he was able to catch some of those uppercuts. So yeah, you know, you got to give him credit.
Before the fight, Gervonta "Tank" Davis targets Lamont Roach for bringing his mother to the press conference ahead of their fight. However, Calvin Ford shed light on his split with Tank Davis, explaining that taking time away from Gervonta Davis allowed him to focus on his amateurs, which he views as his peace. He mentioned Gervonta understood this and visited him, showing their strong bond. Calvin felt reassured, knowing Gervonta was doing well, and valued this time to reflect on their relationship.
No, he came to see me. Dad, slow down, I'm worrying about you, because boom, he knows that I spend time with my amateurs. You know me, both of y'all know me very well. Yeah. Don't I spend time with my amateurs? Yeah, all the time. That's my peace. And he know when I go spend time with my peace, I'm going through things. You know what I'm saying? When he was there, at least I know where he was at. Because it was something that we didn't do. It's something that we normally do.
Calvin also shared that returning to the gym brought back memories from when they first started working together. He compared it to missing his family, emphasizing the deep connection with Gervonta. Calvin stated the most important thing was the fighter's well-being and was excited for the upcoming fight.
Y'all with me? And it was good for us, to tell you the truth, because when I stepped back in the head biggest gym and I haven't been there, it brought back so much memories. When we first started off, and him seeing all us working together, he was happy. And at the end of the day, it's what it's about, the fight.
You know, if I'm away from my parents for like a couple years, you know, I'll start missing them day by day.
And that relationship. Didn't I just said that?
Yeah.
I missed them. And when he come to see me, hey, you know, and just looking at him, that's why I say this fight is going to be great.
Moreover, Stephen Fulton explained that for those who aren't familiar with the history between the fighters or certain weight classes, it might be harder to understand the significance of the fight. However, for people like him who grew up in the same era and know both fighters well, it's an exciting matchup. He emphasized that both fighters have history and a deep understanding of each other, making it a great fight to watch.
I think it's going to be competitive.
Only people that criticize the ones that don't know the history between the two, or that don't know certain fighters in certain weight classes, I can say. But guys like me and everybody else that came up in my era, as far as like the amateur and stuff, I want to see the fight. Like I think it's a good fight because I know both of them and they got history. We all know of each other, things like that. So it's a good fight.
Coach Kenny Ellis predicted that the fight wouldn't go halfway through, but he didn't favor either fighter. He simply stated that he expected the fight to end before reaching the halfway point.
I have a prediction. It won't go to the halfway mark. Okay. Okay. My prediction.
Ellis further said that Lamont Roach will likely look good in the first few rounds of the fight, as he has always been at the top of his game, both as an amateur and a professional. However, he mentioned that the true test will come after the third round, as it will be interesting to see how Roach performs in the later rounds, from round 4 to 7.
Do you see Lamont Roach In the first half of the fight, how good you think he's gonna look in the first half of the fight?
A fighter of his caliber, man, he always been at the top of his game, amateur and pro. So and everybody's good in the first 3 rounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you start going to that 4, 5, 6, 7, you see where he at.
On the other end, Lamont Roach mentioned that the training camp was excellent and he's feeling confident heading into the fight.
Training camp was good?
Training camp was excellent. For sure.
He starts off slow. You think you could
Started off slow Saturday night, that's his ass. That's his grass.
You could win a decision on him, you think?
Yeah.
When asked about the possibility of W ahead of the fight, Davis said that he doesn't like to pay too much attention to outside expectations. He mentioned that he's still in the mix and needs to keep his head grounded. His main goal has always been to put on a great performance every time he steps into the ring. While he can't predict the future, Davis hopes that when all is said and done, he'll be recognized as one of the top great fighters. He remains focused on the present and what he can control, aiming for consistent excellence.
I mean, I can't really say. I just gotta, you know, I'm the type of guy that, you know, I really don't really like pay attention to that because I'm still in the mix. So I just gotta keep my head grounded, you know, stay grounded and just. My whole goal was always to go out there and put on a great performance, like every night, you know. So I can't really say right now because I'm still in the mix. I said, but hopefully, when it's all said and done, I'll be one of them top great fighters. For sure.
How soon does... Moreover, Davis expressed hope for a knockout on Saturday, saying he's aiming for it and that it's definitely his goal.
Last question: knockout Saturday? Should we expect that? What'd you do?
Hopefully, okay. For sure. Hopefully.
However, at the press conference, Davis stated that he will focus on himself regardless of anything. He mentioned telling his opponent to leave his family and other people at home, emphasizing that things are about to get intense. Davis acknowledged that there has been a lot of talk leading up to the fight and that he has noticed it. He concluded by saying that it will all be settled on Saturday night.
Me, regardless. I told him to leave his mom's and, you know, the people home, and he still brung them. It's crazy, man. It's gonna get bad. It's gonna get bad, man. But, you know, it's all love.
Lamont Roach answered Davis, explaining that he wasn't talking too much and that the questions were just part of the fight. However, Davis interrupted him, directing his attention to Roach's mom. He asked why she was there, suggesting it was odd that she came along. Roach quickly responded, saying his mom loves to watch him fight and always supports him, especially during important events like this.
Yeah. Oh, he going to do, like, normally 9 times out of 10, the questions start with, oh, Tank's a knockout power puncher, blase. What are you going to do? Yeah, what? Yeah. I'm going to say what I got to say. I know what I can do. That's what I'm supposed to.
You bring your mother?
She right there. You ain't hear her ask, why the fuck would you leave me?
What?
I mean, that's just out of her mouth, straight up.
Why do you bring her?
What you mean, why I bring her? She love to see me whoop ass. See? I bet. Yeah, what you ain't too shy saying what you gonna do, right?
I am now.
You are now?
Yeah.
Why?
Mom Dukes right there.
Nah. It's all right. Yeah, but like I said, it's not like I'm talking too much. They ask questions. That's what they do.
Ahead of the fight, Lamont Roach predicted that come Saturday, everyone would see what he's capable of. He didn't reveal any specific details, but hinted that his performance would speak for itself, suggesting a strong outcome in the fight.
Come Saturday, man, y'all gonna see. My prediction is and the new.
Back to you, Tank. You heard his prediction. He says it's going to be and the new.
On the other hand, Tank Davis concluded by stating that everyone knows why he's there and what he intends to do. He mentioned not saying too much out of respect, especially with his mom in the corner, but emphasized that there would be fireworks in the fight.
Man, you know why I'm here. I don't want to say too much. Mom Dukes over there in the corner, so gotta keep it polite. But, yeah, I know. Fireworks.
Moreover, Big Tim is confident that Lamont Roach is more than prepared for this fight and will exceed expectations. He believes that Roach is not just gaining recognition as a fighter, but as a person too. Tim described Roach as an outstanding fighter and a true champion, and he is sure that Roach will deliver a performance on March 1st that will leave everyone stunned.
Well, one thing I can say, he's ready, and he will shock the world. I think a lot of people are now starting to realize and know who he is, not just as a person, but as a fighter. And he's a hell of a fighter. He's a great world champion. And he's going to put it on display March 1st. He's going to shock the world. He's going to shock the world.
Tim also mentioned that while Tank Davis will put up a tough fight, Roach will ultimately come out on top, stating that in the end, Tank will be the one on the losing side.
It depends, Tank don't want to submit, lay down, we're going to put him down. But overall, he's going to get ass whooped.
Bruce Carrington, who has sparred with Gervonta Davis, suggested that Lamont Roach might have insight into Tank's subtle body language and quirks, potentially signaling when Davis is hurt. While Carrington acknowledged Roach's style could pose a challenge, he felt Roach's lack of knockout power wouldn't prevent Davis from closing the distance. He predicted Tank would likely stop Roach in the middle to late rounds, though he still expects an exciting fight.
Experience with each other, Lamont might know some things about Tank that most fighters don't know, like maybe little quirks or body language that he's hurt right there, and okay, when he does this, that kind of bothered him that other people might not be able to read, because they just didn't work with Tank that long enough, to be able to figure that out. That I feel like it's gonna be a good matchup because of that. Lamont's style is pretty well too. I wouldn't say he has that much pop to keep Tank off of him. But I feel like his style is pretty good to fight, to match up with Tank. But I still don't see him being enough to stop Tank. I still think that Tank stops him probably in the later rounds, mid to late rounds. And but I think it will still be an enjoyable fight to watch.
Carrington also mentioned that he thinks Gervonta Davis will take a more cautious approach against Lamont Roach compared to his aggressive start in the fight with Frank Martin. He speculated that Davis might focus more on counterpunching and boxing intelligently at first, waiting for the right moment to turn up the pressure and go for the finish.
Yes. I think Tank will probably be selective. I don't know if he's just gonna, because I remember when he fought Frank Martin, from the first round, he was trying to be in Frank Martin's chest. He was, yeah. I don't know if he's going to have that same approach this fight. I think he's going to be more like, counter-punching, boxing a little bit, being sharp, and then flip the switch.
Michael Fox pointed out that the upcoming fight between Tank Davis and Lamont Roach will be a tough and closely contested battle. He acknowledged both fighters' high level of skill, noting that many people underestimate Tank's punching power. The fight will play out like a chess match, with each boxer trying to outsmart the other. While Tank's knockout power will undoubtedly be a key factor, Fox emphasized that it's not the only element that will determine the outcome. When comparing Tank to his past opponents, Fox noted that Tank's style is truly unique. He mentioned that Tank's previous strength, such as his athleticism and technical skills, have now been complemented by his devastating power, which makes him even more dangerous. This fight, Fox believes, will test both fighters' boxing abilities and tactical thinking, requiring more than just searching for a knockout blow.
Yeah, definitely gonna be competitive. The thing about both fighters, Tank and Lamont, they're both very impressive boxers. A lot of people forget that just because Tank is also a big puncher, but this is gonna be chess. It's gonna be chess. It's gonna be both guys trying to one up each other a bunch of times. So it's definitely not gonna be sweet. We know Tank had the equalizer, but
Teofimo Lopez shared his thoughts on a potential fight between Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach Jr. He explained that Tank and Roach have known each other for a long time. Growing up near each other in Washington, D.C., they've fought in the amateurs and probably sparred together too, which gives them a deep understanding of each other's styles. Lopez believes it could be an interesting fight, but only if Tank allows it to be competitive.
All the history, you gotta love it. What do you think about Tank versus obviously?
Oh, Roach?
Yeah, Roach.
Well, they've known each other for so long now. They grew up nearby in DC, and I think overall, You know, I think it's gonna be a good fight for as long as Tank wants it to be.
Lopez also pointed out that Lamont Roach is moving up in weight to 135 pounds for this fight, which makes him think Tank will have the advantage. He believes that Tank, who has more experience at that weight class, should be able to finish the fight quickly, possibly even knocking Roach out.
Yeah.
You mean like he get him out of there anytime?
I think he will. But I think Roach, you know, they know each other very well. They know what type of styles they like to put on. I mean, they used to fight a lot in the amateurs, probably sparred too. So, you know, I think that it'll just go to show. But remember, everybody got to realize, Lamont Roach is going up to 135. He's going up a weight class.
Right.
You know, and I think that's what makes me think that Tank should wipe him out.
Al Bernstein shared his thoughts on Lamont Roach's upcoming fight with Gervonta "Tank" Davis, stating that while Roach is a good fighter, he doesn't believe Roach will be competitive with Davis. He pointed out that Roach is moving up in weight, and despite winning a title at a lower weight, nothing in his past indicates he can beat Davis. Bernstein emphasized that this isn't a knock on Roach, who had a solid career and was a good prospect, but he finds it hard to imagine Roach defeating Tank.
You know, Roach is coming up in weight. He came up in weight to him. I don't see, honestly, I don't see him. He's a good fighter, but I don't see, he's nothing in his past tells me he's going to beat Gervonta Davis or even be competitive with him. And I'm not, it's not a denigration of Lamont Roach. He's a good fighter. He won a title at a lower weight. And that was a surprise to some people that he did get, even though he was a good prospect. So it's just hard to imagine him beating Davis.
Robert Diaz noted that Gervonta Davis is aware of what's in front of him, especially with the history between him and Lamont Roach. He believes Davis respects Roach, and vice versa, making it a fight built on mutual understanding. Diaz expects a strategic first half, where both fighters will play it smart, but as the fight progresses, it could turn into an intense battle. He anticipates that Davis's skills will be tested, with the potential for an exciting second half if the fighters stick to their game plans.
But right now I see Tank is going to come in knowing what he has in front of him this time because they know each other. There's a history. Tank respects him. I really believe he respects him. And Lamont for sure does. So I think it'll be a very good strategic fight in the first half. And then it could turn into a real fight in the second half. If everything works out right, we're going to see outboxing of Tank.
Shakur Stevenson stated that Lamont Roach is fully focused on his upcoming match, while he believes Gervonta Davis is more focused on Roach. Shakur also mentioned that he plans to place a bet on Lamont Roach, predicting that Roach will come out victorious in the fight.
Honestly, he got a fight next week, right? So it seemed like he focused on me, and Lamont Roach is focused on him. I think I'm going to go put my bet in on Lamont Roach.
Calvin Ford reflected on the long history between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach, mentioning their connection dating back to the amateur Silver Gloves days. He believes this shared history will add an interesting dynamic to the fight, as Roach always competes at his highest level. Despite some criticism, Ford voiced his support for the matchup, emphasizing that it presents a significant opportunity for both fighters and the community. He also praised Roach for stepping up to the challenge and noted that the fight would be an exciting spectacle for fans.
They've been knowing each other from the amateurs, Silver Gloves, everything. They grew up actually together, you know. Roach and him, back and forth battles and whatnot. It's going to be a pretty interesting fight, you know what I'm saying? Because Roach he come to fight. And I think it's a great fight. Everybody talking all that stuff about, why Roach? Because he signed and took the fight, you know what I'm saying? And it's good for the community.
So what are your thoughts on this? Share your thoughts in the comment section, and also make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video.